The cost of living crisis is a callous example of the Conservatives heaping more misery on those with the least so as to spare those with the most from paying their way. Their cash won't make its way into the Tory party coffers if they're made to pay their taxes properly, after all, like all the little people have to. After 12 years of austerity, for it has never gone away, no matter how much the Tories might say it has, they're now putting so much pressure on the finances of ordinary working class folk so that more are falling into debt, more are losing the ability to pay their bills, and this is just going to become more and more common as the cost of living crisis continues to bite, as will coming into conflict with creditors, demands for payment winging their way through a great many more doors. It's been such a massive problem already for so many years that brown envelopes have become a source of panic and anxiety the moment they fall through the door, let alone what they might even contain. Even the DWP eventually realised they might be triggering panic in disabled and vulnerable people with their use of brown envelopes, so moved over to white envelopes last year. Not that that stops the panic that occurs when you open it to see that it's still from the DWP, but it shows the psychological impact brown envelopes do have. They are never associated with anything good. So, which cretinous bellend at Labour HQ thought it'd be ever such a clever idea to send local election leaflet material, campaign materials, out in brown envelopes, complete with the official-looking window showing the address details and slapping final demand across the front of it? It might have cost of the Conservatives printed on it too, but in much smaller writing. Final demand means the end of the road. You've entered last chance saloon with your creditors, and it might be the bailiffs next. This might seem a trivial thing to some. Plenty of junk mail comes in brown envelopes, after all, but they have real, significant impacts on mental health these days, especially when you get them, especially final demands. Arriving 9 times out of 10 in brown, poxy envelopes, all because you can no longer afford to live, not necessarily these days through any fault of your own. Now, perhaps you think this might be the act of some, I don't know, rogue individual at Southside, that these things are only being posted in certain areas and can't possibly be a nationwide thing. Well, to burst that thought bubble, all election materials have to be signed off at Labour HQ. Some Labour Party bigwig looked at these and thought they're great. And the damn things are available for purchase on Labour's online shop. I checked myself today, they're still there. My mate Steve Walker at Squawk Box wrote an article on this yesterday where the focus was on these leaflets being dropped in Hartlepool. And here's a lovely picture of Jonathan Ashworth with a wad of them in his hand out delivering them. And it occurred to me, looking at this, that he's the Shadow Department for Work and Pensions Minister, and he has no idea of the impact brown envelopes particularly have on the mental health of those who have to deal with the DWP on a regular basis. The DWP itself have, as I said a moment ago, switched to using white envelopes now to deal with this issue. Yet here's Ashworth, who wants to run that department, doling out brown envelopes to all and sundry, touting for Labour votes, without a thought or care in the world of the effects these might have on those receiving them. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm sick of callous, ignorant politicians being put in charge of work and pensions. Ashworth would clearly only add to that list. Get a grip of your brief, for God's sake, man. Get a clue, or piss off and let someone with some thought and compassion take over. Now, Labour have been rightly condemned for this thoughtlessness, their callousness, frankly, in stooping this low in order to drum up support to get votes. They should equally be given short shrift, though, for their absolute ignorance over mental health issues relating to the use of these envelopes and the message they've splattered across the front of them. They should be given short shrift anyway, because Labour's plans to deal with the cost of living crisis won't do anything meaningful to help people either. They'll just drive you into penury a little more slowly. Brown envelopes, as trivial as they may seem to many, will no doubt seem to some a cause of terror. Many throw them away on sight for fear of what they contain. I can't think of a better thing to do with Labour's final demands if you get one through your door.